Well, I'm finally getting around to doing the Raw review, and I'll be honest with you, I wasn't planning on doing this. So I sat down at my computer, and it was Tuesday night, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to start, watching the clips for Raw, and then I get to the one with Paul Heyman. I'm like, I'm not gonna watch this. Then I see the news about Super Showdown, which I'm not going to be talking about in this review because I will do a review of Super Showdown separately. I was just not going to do the Raw review, basically, until I read the news for Super Showdown. And then I'm like, all right, I'm just going to bite the bullet. I'll just do the Raw review here because I got to, I just felt like I had to do it. Basically, because I'll review SmackDown because Cena's going to be on it. But honestly, I don't know about reviewing this show and doing an Elimination Chamber review. I'm being honest, I'm getting to the point where I just don't like this product. I don't like where it's going. And I just, looked at, the list of, matches and segments for this show, and I was like, do I even need to talk about it? But some people obviously probably want to hear about it. Other people probably don't care. Some people want to see other content on this channel, and but I was like, all right, so let's do it. So let's get to the Raw review. You'll get your Super Showdown review as well, but all right. So we start off with Randy Orton. He's apologizing for what he did to Edge, and he's getting into the explanation, and of course someone else interrupts him. No, it's not Matt Hardy this time. I guess he's down for the count. It's Kevin Owens. How could it be any more unrelated? Okay, at least we were like, okay, it's Matt Hardy, but all right, at least he's had a feud with Edge that's well documented. A big tag team rivalry. So, okay, I could see it. It's lazy. It's still not Edge. But, Kevin Owens? Where is Edge? How do you explain him being away for this long? No injury updates. Nothing. They haven't talked to the guy. He's under contract. He's at a big debut under the Royal Rumble. Oh, we don't know, guys. Edge is just MIA, I guess. There's no wondering out loud unless I maybe missed it, with where Edge is, where is the guy? Is anyone searching for him? Should they call the police? Should they hire a private investigator? Where is he? We might have a missing person on our hands, but no one really cares. So he's gone. But, Kevin Owens cares for some reason. I'm just looking at Kevin Owens here. He doesn't even have a good reason. He's like, I watched the guy retire. And just so much fluff. You might as well just say, I'm just here to fill time. I'm here to fill the gap between Orton and Edge's match at Mania. You might as well have just said that. At least I respect the truthfulness in it. To be quite honest, I'm looking at Owens, and I'm just looking at him in those sweatpants and that, that very sloppily made, cut off, t-shirt. And he just looks like a freaking slob. I just don't know how this guy was, a world champion. And Triple H is, hugging him, a well-documented hug. I'm just... At this point, I'm like, this guy just has no value at all. If it wasn't for the indie smarks, bowing down to Owens and trying to prop him up as the next Stone Cold simply because he does a stunner. Nothing has changed with this guy other than him, getting some extra tattoos and having a stunner. Oh, wow. My whole life perspective has changed on Kevin Owens due to small little changes that don't even affect his character or anything about him. Nothing creatively has changed. I mean, if anything, they make this guy feel even more worthless. But the fact of the matter here is, where is Edge? And you're buying time here once again by having Owens interrupt him. You know, they think they're really clever. Oh, hey guys, we don't actually need to come up with an explanation because as long as we have people interrupt them, we don't even need to have an explanation. Oh, it's brilliant. It's brilliant, right? You know, if you're like not really thinking about this, which like, you know, why would you even want to think about it, right? Like I said, why should you even have to deeply think about wrestling? But somehow, you know, that's what we do here in these videos. So we're here to like analyze it. And, you know, it's like, it wouldn't be noticeable, I guess, if the obvious thing wasn't right in front of us. Like, where's Edge, right? Because that's what you want to see. You don't want to see this fat slob. You want to see, like, Edge, who's even older than this guy, and he's in better shape. Way better shape, mind you. So, you know, you have to ask, like, where is he? And, you know, here's the explanation. Though we don't get one. The explanation is we don't have one. And I said that the moment he hit Edge with the chair, right? I says, can't wait for this explanation because we're probably not even going to get one. If we do, it won't make any sense. And what does Orton say? Owen says he wants an explanation. Orton says, no, you don't want to know. And then, like, Owens challenges him to a match. Orton says, not right this minute. They just leave the ring, right? So that, you know, not right now. Oh, okay, we'll wait. You know, nothing like no authority figure to come out. See, with no authority figure on the show, you have, like, you know, during the best periods in WWE television, you always had some type of authority figure, you know, like having these guys have to wait till later. Because with a guy like Orton, right, he wants to tear people's heads off. He's a madman. He's smashing people's heads with chairs. He, like, crippled Matt Hardy. Smashed his head on steel steps with a chair. He upped the ante the very next week, right? So here we go, and, like, no, I don't feel like it. You know, but I'm saying you had like Vince McMahon, Eric Bischoff, even Vicky Guerrero here to like at least hold things off, Teddy Long, like just some people that at least keep the wrestlers at bay, keep them from tearing each other's heads off. But you don't get that. Instead, it's like, well, we have to figure out like clever ways to like not have them wrestle right at that moment because we want to keep it for later on. But it just ends up making everyone look stupid. On top of that, making everything look stupid because there's no explanation for Edge not being there. And like, this doesn't even... See, this is what I'm saying why I didn't even want to make the video. Because this shouldn't even have to be analyzed. It's so horrible. It's so bad. By me even talking about it, I'm acknowledging it. I'm giving it credit. I'm giving it value by discussing it, like saying this is something worth analyzing. No, it's not even worth talking about because it's terrible television, and terrible television shouldn't even be watched. I shouldn't even be, you know, giving them a view on YouTube, pretty much, is what I'm saying. By me, like, giving them a view, I'm saying, like, this is something I want to watch. I'm clicking on it, and I already know, expect disappointment. But there I go, clicking on it anyway to do a review. So it's counterproductive, really. We've got Angel Garza defeating Umberto Carrillo. And, you know, first of all, like, anyone saying that this guy is better than Andrade, like, I don't know where you guys are getting that from, but a few people, like, I commented that they like the guy. Okay, you know, if you like him, whatever. I'm not going to say he's a bad wrestler or anything like that, but I'm just not getting anything from this guy. Like, you put him side by side with Andrade, and I'm like, no. Physically, just the face and everything, this guy doesn't look like a star like Andrade does. I'm sorry, but anyway, I know, you know, they got the cousin thing going on here with Carrillo and Garza, but like, who's interested in this? And then like we have a match. All right, so some nice little lucha moves in there, which we've been seeing already with not much story. Of course, because why would we get a story? I shouldn't even be expecting that. But like, here's Garza, like, pinning, Carrillo. And here's a little chance where you could even just have a little bit of story, just a little bit of psychology. Could he, like, if he's the heel, could maybe could he, like, hold his tights or something? No, he just pins him clean. Ooh, I gotcha. One of those gotcha. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, the heels. Like, I even saw Bayley at least put her feet on the ropes on, like, SmackDown a few weeks ago. Could she, like, at least do that? Maybe? No, like, here is just a nice, clean win. There you go. It's done. Alright? Like, first of all, he's playing the heel, but he doesn't even win matches how a heel traditionally does it. Ooh, we're breaking tradition. I don't want to hear that garbage. What that is, that's not being rebellious to wrestling tradition. That's just being lazy and not bothering to tell the guys to go out there and do certain things. And it also shows that these wrestlers just don't have enough experience to be out there to properly port, get in the ring and show me. No, I'm not talking about going in there and wrestling well. I'm not talking about work rate. But how simple would it be to grab a guy's tights to try to get yourself over just a little bit further as a heel? Because you're not over, Garza. And, you're not doing... The agent, first of all, everyone backstage who's training these guys, like, isn't Shawn Michaels back there? Triple H is back there. All these guys, Gregory Helms, right? Who else is back there? Bunch of dudes. MVP, right? Isn't he, like, gonna be an agent or something? I don't know. All these guys worked as heels at one point in their careers, right? What did they do? They did low blows. They did roll-ups. Like, can anyone teach these guys, like, if they're heels, how they should work as heels? Because no one seems to know what they're supposed to do. Like, I get it. You don't want to have gimmicks. You don't want to have characters. Fine. Like, at least, like, if you're trying to establish a character as a heel, as the bad guy, and, Carrillo's supposed to be the baby face, right? The white meat baby face and all that. So, like the baby, he's got the baby face. They're trying to make him the baby face, right? So it's like, okay, there should kind of be some sympathy on the face, but here he just looks like a loser who just went, oopsies, I got caught in a roll-up. Okay, like, so why should I care? They don't give you a reason to. Ricochet defeats Luke Gallows. Okay, first of all, even Ricochet beating Luke Gallows is unbelievable. A guy that size. Like, I just don't understand how you have a guy like Gallows and you do nothing with him. But you have they have Bobby Lashley. They don't do anything with him. We'll talk about that in a moment. We've got so many, like, big, monstrous guys that could be so much more. But anyway, and I'm supposed to believe that this guy's going to go in and actually, like, stand a chance against Lesnar at Showdown. What a waste of time here. But, like, Ricochet is, like, kicking this guy's ass just, like, from pillar to post. This guy, like really? And he's, like, wimpy. Like, it's not just, like, okay, maybe he's a small guy, but maybe he doesn't even look tough. He doesn't sound tough. He's not tough. So here's Gallows, right? Badass, looked him and everything. Okay, I don't really care for the face paint, but regardless, this guy's towering over him. Way bigger, weighs so much more than him, outweighs him by like 100 pounds. And, Ricochet's just trouncing all over him. The OC beats up Aleister Black for backstage because reasons. AJ says, hey, you won a few matches. You think you own the place. Let's beat him up. So all the mystique of, like, Aleister being untouchable, unbeatable, they just have him get beat up for no reason. Kind of like ruining his mystique. I will say that this beatdown looked a bit more brutal than they usually do. Usually you get some, like, weak-looking backstage brawl. This looked a little bit better. Pretty short and sweet. Paul Heyman's in the ring, cutting a promo. You've got Lesnar in there. We're going to address this in a minute, right? So what's the Mania match? Drew McIntyre, Lesnar. They haven't touched... Haven't said two words face-to-face to one another. Barely even, like, really even addressed one another. Here's Heyman, talking about Ricochet, right? The promo's basically on Ricochet. All right, whatever. They want to concentrate on the Saudi Arabia show. All right, fine. Fine by me. But, it's the same promo. The same thing once again, cookie cutter, copy and paste from Paul Heyman. This is your genius. This is also who's like the head of creative on Raw. You kind of see why we have the mess that we do here. I'm just saying, if this is Heyman, and these is his unscripted promos, and it's copy and paste from week to week, you can kind of tell, like, Heyman just might have creative bankruptcy. They're hiring these people that, like, just don't have any creativity left. Bruce Pritchard, Paul Heyman, they got nothing. They don't know what it takes to have an entertaining product in this business. This is what I'm saying. So before you're so quick to say Vince is holding them back, Vince is doing, these guys are veterans. No one has any balls to stand up to Vince and say that this show needs to improve. No, I'm just going to say that they've got nothing better to give. Because I don't really think they know even, what... Because, how is it that everything on this show is worthless, is bad? It's just the odds are not there. Something good would have to slip through the cracks every now and again, wouldn't it? Aleister Black defeats Eric Rowan. So instead of going on a mad tear for AJ backstage, he's just going to go out and have a match. He beats Rowan clean, beats him the same exact way with the same 2 kicks to the head. This, the fact that he would win in the same way with the same 2 kicks in the same fashion. Rowan drops to his knees once again in the same way. After the match, he says he's going to fight him next week. So you know what? AJ's still in the building, but you know what? I'll go get him next week. Let's forget about the brutal, random backstage assault. They're slamming my head into the door and all that and, leaving me there. Yeah, okay, I'll just wait till next week. What are these barriers here? Let's get some, sense of urgency. With the show lacks, it's all, hey, let's wait till next week. Hey, Drew and Brock, let's wait 2 whole months, right? Let's wait 3 months even. Hey, there's a pay-per-view first. Can't touch it until then. Oh, yeah, okay, totally, just unbelievably bad and just unbelievable and unbelievably bad at the same time. Then we sit down with Drew McIntyre, little down-home interview, and, I love when they're, so late to the dance all the time. We're going to go back and we're going to talk about Drew McIntyre being the chosen one by Vince McMahon, how he failed Vince McMahon, and, do we ever, stop and think for a moment here, what BS this is? He talks about, he was a liability to WWE. No, they didn't know what to do with him. Drew looked like a star back then. He wasn't in as good of shape as he is now. He does look better. But, here's the thing. Did Drew McIntyre ask to go out there and be proclaimed the chosen one? No. That was Vince McMahon's choice, right? The same guy who's responsible for the bad product nowadays, right? So, nothing was, there was no one holding a gun to Vince's head saying you gotta go out there and proclaim him the chosen one, right? It's his company, right? So, but he goes out there and he proclaims Drew McIntyre the chosen one, right? Okay, so you know what? I didn't have a complaint about that. I wasn't really watching the product at the time, but going back and watching Drew and everything and them go from random storyline to random storyline with him, IC champion, relationship with Kelly, 3MB member, they don't know what to do with him, and then they just end up firing him because, you know what? Whoops, we don't know what to do with him. He's the chosen one, but for some reason they don't immediately catapult him to world championship status. Vince McMahon says you're the chosen one, but he's only good enough to be IC champ. So, like, then why did he say, why did Vince McMahon say, I will agree to come out there, shake the guy's hand, and say, this is the future of the company? Only to, like, throw the guy exactly as he said into a group where he's playing air guitar like a goofball. So they have basically Drew McIntyre sit down and say, all that stuff in the past was my fault. It's not creative. It wasn't Vince McMahon. It was all me. And over there is Wade Keller talking about on PW Torch how Jolly Goose. What was Jolly Goose? I don't know what I just said there. But anyway, golly B, this is just great old television, great interview. Like, what? No, this is not a good interview. This is a bad interview. There's nothing good about this interview. What are you talking about, Keller? Are you mad? Like, this was a very bad interview where you put a man up to a scripted interview, said go in the interview right before your match at Mania, and say how much you were a worthless piece of garbage in the past, Drew. Say how you messed up the company and you were a liability. Like, are you kidding me? This was not good. This was not good at all. Drew did not come off as a badass. He came off as very vulnerable. Ooh, show him your good side. Show him how you're vulnerable. Like, no, you just made your challenger look like a total wimp. Oh, guys, I was a total goofball before, but hey, accept me now because I'm back and I'm willing to change my ways. Like, none of this was Drew's fault. This was creative. They might have put him in a spot he wasn't ready for. Now, I watched Drew back then. He seemed like he was pretty good. I didn't really think he was bad. I think he maybe improved his promo skills a little bit, but it's on Vince McMahon. You wanted this guy to be your chosen one. You put him out there with you in the ring, and you said, this is the guy that we need to watch for. Okay. So, when you completely fail the guy, and you see on TV, it was nothing that Drew was doing. They have to give him the segments. They tell him to go out there and do this stuff. So, you have no one to blame but yourselves. You don't want to give him a character. You don't want to sit down with the guy and really get to know him. When you sit him down, it's a scripted promo where you just blame all the past stuff on him. First of all, what would have been the right thing to do in this situation is don't mention the past. Forget about it. You know what I mean? With The Rock, did they keep on harping on Rocky Maivia? Did The Rock come out there when he joined the Nation and started turning heads? Did he come out there and say, hey guys, remember when I used to be a total goofball, smiling, hey, being the son of Rocky Johnson? No. He barely even mentioned his third generation history. He just came out there and did what he had to do, and he got himself over because he had a great character. Vince Russo sat down with him. They got to know the guy. They got to know what his strengths were. Put him out there. Changed his whole career. Changed his life. Look at The Rock now. Now look at Drew McIntyre. They just had him go out there. Now this guy's got the look. He did it all himself, right? He got himself over. Got himself in amazing shape. Changed his look a little bit. He's, improved his promo skills. The guy is a self-made man. Now there's no excuse. No excuse to have this guy look like a goofball. It's all on you at this point, and you had him go in there in the promo and look like a goofball. Bravo! Bravo for making this guy look like a goofball again. And this time, you could clearly see it's not his fault. And people are praising it. That's what's disturbing about that. This is why this product will never change. Lashley defeats RTruth. RTruth tries to make this into a segment. He asked him if he saw the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. I'm just saying, there's a lot of things about RTruth that I really like. I think he's entertaining. He's, he works best with, this is what they're telling him to do. They're telling, just like with the Drew McIntyre thing. He's not telling himself to go out there and play air guitar. They told him to go do that. So you had you have RTruth going out there, and yes, they do have to make him look like a goofball, but you can see he really does try to get the stuff over. He's not exactly sleepwalking through it, so I give the guy all the credit in the world. He still keeps himself in amazing shape. The guy's like 48 years old. He's, he looks better than Kevin Owens. Gotta say that, it looks better than Samoa Joe. But here's Lashley defeating RTruth. It's like, okay, who cares? Then we have a contract signing. And we've got Natalya here, where I'm just believing that all her character is that she's just smiles. Like I'm scanning my eyes around the table. Ruby Riot's looking like a star over there. I just got to admit that for a minute. Like, I like the beanie. I like the way how she did her hair. I don't find Ruby Riott attractive, but I just have to say, that was a good look for her right here. Like, I said, remember my whole opinion change on her? I said when she changed up her attire and she got rid of that hideous-looking plaid stuff. Like, here she was looking like a star. But, Liv Morgan and the rest of them, I'm just these are attractive girls, Natalya, Liv Morgan, but I'm looking at Asuka, I'm looking at Liv Morgan. Those are the only people at the table that look like they really belong there. Everyone else was just looked so blasé. And here's Asuka again, just yelling in Japanese, okay, all right, Anyway, Shayna Baszler marches out from the crowd for no reason. They addressed it in the beginning, I guess she's a no-show. She comes out of the crowd for no reason to, sign the contract and then go face-to-face, when she went, she went face-to-face with Asuka, and then, Asuka says, bite me, and then it turns into, it turns into a brawl with Cringy Lynch comes running to the ring and there's a brawl. It's a pull apart. And I love, how, everyone, instead of concentrating on pulling them apart, is busy getting all the furniture out of the ring so they don't hurt themselves. It's, totally ridiculous. At least there was no cringy stuff. But what's funny? Becky's coming out there to get redemption. This is the part where I roll my eyes until I almost, injure myself by rolling my eyes so hard up into my head. She's coming out there, serious business, Cringy Lynch, right? With her game face on. Oh, well, you better believe she's got her game face on. This girl took a bite out of her neck, right? Okay, so last week she wasn't there, so she couldn't get her hands on her. But this week she is. She's right where she wants her. She's gonna get revenge, but first she's gotta come out with those meme glasses on, right? Right? She's gotta come out with the meme glasses, these stupid looking cardboard glasses that I don't know if you can buy them on Shop. I hope not. I hope they're not charging $15 for that. I hope to God that's not what they're doing. But she comes out there with these glasses on, and she's taking all the time in the world to pose with them and everything. Then she throws them down and she runs to the ring, and then she's all business. Get the hell out of here. This is the future right here. This is, who maybe one day if they're feeling kind of froggy, they might pull a Tessa Blanchard and give her the world title. Can you imagine that? I don't think that's going to ever happen, but I'm just saying, this is the revolutionary Cringy Lynch. And she's got to come out there and strike a pose. Can you imagine if Austin, who they compared to her at the beginning, there's Triple H, right? Triple H ran her over with the car. And right, she's Austin. Let's say Shayna Baszler is supposed to be Triple H. Ooh, Austin, he's gonna pose. Hey, imagine Austin. Hey, gotta get my good side. Hey, Kevin Dunn, get my good side. Hey, no, that ain't gonna happen. That would have never happened in a million years. But here, it's perfectly acceptable because, hey, hit my pose here. Hey, this whole it's been said time and time again from the people that speak the truth, the wrestlers, who are in the business, who roll their eyes at the current product. They said This is how it is in NXT. Strike a pose on the entrance ramp, and then you're like very little substance elsewhere. All right, now we've got Angelo Dawkins defeating Murphy by disqualification when Seth Rollins runs in to interfere. Montez Ford challenges Rollins to a match. And I didn't watch this whole match, but it was a 15-minute match, according to Wade Keller. And in the minutes that I did see of this match, Montez Ford is taking it to Seth Rollins. He is like killing him, move after move. And I'm just saying to myself, less than a year ago, wasn't Seth Rollins destroying Brock Lesnar of all people? Brock Lesnar, in 5 minutes, squashing Lesnar to beat him for the world title at WrestleMania of all places. And now he's having problems beating a tag team wrestler, not just a tag team wrestler, but a newcomer, a rookie, Montez Ford. I'm just saying, remember guys what I said, like I shouldn't even be reviewing this show. What is the point of reviewing a show where we kind of pretty much expect this stuff to happen? Anyway, the main event, it's Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. Orton hits a DDT off the ropes. The referee does a fast count. Then after the match, you've got Orton. He's about to, give him the concerto. Seth Rollins is cheering on Randy Orton. Do it. And then Orton says he's not going to do it. He just walks away. Then Owens gets up and he takes the referee. He rips his shirt off for some reason. I don't know, like why he decided to do that. I don't know if it supposedly accidentally ripped. And he's wearing a Seth Rollins shirt. So let me get this straight. Okay, and let's just finish up. So he puts him through a table. Okay, that ends the show. Rollins goes on and on about oh, he's a good guy. Don't do that. All right. So yeah, the end of the show. Great. Fantastic. So Rollins does has a referee that's dirty like this, right? In a match with no stakes, there's nothing on the line, a match that he's not even in. And, we're supposed to think it's a conspiracy, but Orton doesn't even end up doing it anyway. So, what was the point of that? I'm not really understanding. Because they didn't really do a good job of explaining this. But from what I'm seeing is, that part was random. That Orton would even be able to get him in a position to do the concerto in the first place. But, all Seth Rollins wanted to do was have Owens get beat. I don't get it. This would make sense if the world title was on the line and there was a dirty referee. They used to do this back in the day. Maybe there'd be the referee was in the heel wrestler's pocket, maybe paid off the ref, whatever. I can see it. But this where there's nothing on the line and it's just a random match with no story behind it, no reason. I didn't like what you did to Edge because I like Edge. I have no history. I probably never even met the guy. And then, I never wrestled him or anything like that or had a promo or shared a cup of coffee. Nothing. And, you go out of your way to, do this little conspiracy thing with the ref. What complete garbage? Who cares? For something that doesn't even have any layers to it. It's just oh, well, the referee was screwy. What was the point, though, of having the ref in there? It's not like the ref was another wrestler or something, or there was, a heel GM, and they appointed maybe, Murphy as the ref, or maybe Rollins as the ref, then, okay, maybe I could see it a little. But, like, there's no story here. So to have a crooked ref, what was the point? Anyway, guys, I'll see you for Super Showdown. I don't want to even talk about this show anymore. There's your review. Hope you all enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell so you get all notifications when I post all my new videos, and I'll see you for Super Showdown.